Well,
I'm
good
on
morning,
mute.
everyone. Now, after you've all been sick, sorry about that. Good morning. Welcome, everybody, to our April 16th meeting and the little roller coaster ride I just gave you. Hopefully got you all awake. I see some faces I haven't seen in a while. This is exciting. So welcome. Here's our vision statement, as we know. And here's our diversity statement. And I wanted to throw a little extra part into that, thinking about when we think about diversity, we also have to think about equity. And equity is not the same as equality. And this is a kind of a simple picture to show that. So that's part of it.
There's also inclusiveness.
There is. Thank you. And we're going to do some introductions. The screen keeps changing on me, but I want to give a few shout outs. I'm looking for our guest speaker. And any guests, but I want to give a shout out. I want to say hi to Susan Deal McCarthy, because I don't think I've seen you all. I mean, I've seen you, but I don't think we've been able to see you at a meeting. So welcome. It's good to see you. And it's good to see Matt again. I hope you had a great birthday. Let's see who else is here. I see, Siva, that whoever corrected your name on your spelling gave you an interesting spelling. I think, there you go. I don't see any guests. Where are you, Greg? Hey, Greg, make sure our speaker has the link. I sent it to him, but
Yeah, I will follow up with him right now. I assume
yeah,
he's probably just.
I'm sure he does because he was on the list, but thank you for doing that. He's got some time. Well, welcome everybody. It's good to see you all. Oh, I think Monique is a guest here. Monique, where are you? Where are you? Don't see.
I'm here.
Hello.
I'm just no screen. Hi, good morning.
Yes. Good morning. That's fine. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, how's it going?
It's good. Good to have you. Good to see everybody.
Yes.
We have a lot of people no screening this morning. I think it's just one of those mornings, and that's the beauty of it. Can you imagine being able to go to a meeting and just not screen? This is awesome. So don't forget the raffle. Monopoly money this week. Oh, and before we get started, I want to remind you all that today is National Wear Your Pajamas to Work Day, and I thought it was a fitting one because many of us have been doing that all year, but you didn't know you were supposed to celebrate it. This obviously is not right. There's no way this dog works, but I thought it was kind of cute, and there are people who dress their dogs up, and there you go. But I also have a couple other pictures of, I love this one of Steve and his PJs. And then there's Ian with his bear, and oh, the bear got cut off. So anybody out there want to show off their pajamas this morning? No.
I would be arrested.
Yeah, no, don't stand up. I know, where is she? Rachel, I know you had some cute pajamas on. Are you still on screen?
Yeah, I gotta put the hat on. I got my onesie on today. It's a unicorn onesie.
There you go.
And then he's got his little bear. Say hi.
There you go. Very cool, very cool. Well, I have a little prize for you. Steve, I got to tell you that you were, Steve, you lost to a baby. Just know
man, that's unfair.
Just know how it feels. Just know how it feels. So, and I have what I have for you is I have a gift certificate to Move Well. You can get one private Pilates session with Tamara.
Oh, much needed.
Yes. So, so enjoy that.
Thank you.
And the rest of you just wear your pajamas. Thank you. That'd be weird if he just went, thank you. All right. And today, more seriously, today is also National Healthcare Decisions Day. So the question to everyone is, do you have an advance directive? If you do, that's awesome. If you don't, or you don't know what one is, it's really important. You don't need to wait to be an older person to have this. It assigns someone else the power to make decisions for you when you're unable to. And you never know when that's going to happen. So it's definitely something to have on hand, especially if you have family members that might disagree on what kind of care you want. Like my mom always jokes that I think she's joking, that she gives me the power because my brother would never pull the plug on her, but I would. And she means that in a nice way, because what she means is I will do the right thing and he might hold on because of, anyway, so you need the right person involved in this. So go out and do that. It's really easy to do if you don't have one already. Okay, we got some folks here. We're hoping, I don't know if Chris is going to be here today, but we have Mike and Howard are here. And Mike, do you want to share some gratitude?
I am very grateful for Lisa's leadership with backpacks and Amanda's leadership with senior meals. Both make sure that we're on task and organized and scheduled, et cetera, et cetera. I'm grateful that I got my second shot yesterday, COVID, but not grateful because it's made me sick.
Yeah.
And mostly I'm grateful for this organization that allows me to help others. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And just know that you'll feel better soon. It won't go on for too long and shorter than COVID. So good deal. Thank you. Howard, you want to share any words of gratitude this morning?
Well, yes, this actually is an opportune moment for me because most of you don't know, but 6 months ago, I accidentally discovered a cancerous tumor in my left lung. And to make a very long story short, I had a successful operation down at Stanford to remove a lobe of that lung. And last week I had a CT scan 6 months later to check on whether the cancer had spread, and it had not. So I can be very celebratory today that the cancer hasn't spread. So I'm grateful to be alive and in good health for my age. I'm also grateful very much for my wife and my son and daughter, both of whom are young adults doing well, with employed and very well employed up in Oregon, one in Grants Pass, the other in Eugene. And I'm grateful for my circle of friends. I'm grateful for this Rotary Club that means so much to me, and grateful to be living around Arcata, California. So thanks for the opportunity to share that with you.
Thank you, Howard, and thanks for sharing with the club. I know that was a very difficult time, and you're so fortunate to have a doctor for a wife who, keeps you on the straight and narrow, and that you got the treatment you needed, and we are all grateful for that. So Howard, do you want to pick someone for next week's gratitude?
I'm not sure, Barbara, have you expressed gratitude before?
I think Barbara has.
Yes.
Yes, I have.
How about Greg? Have you?
Not yet.
Okay, you're
I
on
will.
it for next week. And Mike, do you want to pick someone for next week? No? Okay, well, that's okay because, oh, Chris won't be here next week. So I will pick somebody for next week. I am going to pick, I'm going to pick John Richmond. John, how are you going to, would you like to share gratitude with us next week? He's like, oh crap, she's talking to me. We'll see. We'll see if he does. Thank you so much. And Charlie, thanks for the shout out. Oh, you're saying yes, you will. Thank you, John. Way to go. I will put you down for that. And Charlie was giving a shout out for my pajamas. She noticed that the coffee cups are on it and it's coffee. It's so yes, always prepared here. I wanted to share a bit of news, and many of you may know this already, but I want to just share that our former past president, George Cavinta, has had some health issues. He had an aneurysm a few weeks ago and is getting treated. I don't know if he's back up here yet. He was in the San Francisco area. And I reached out to Bob Moore and told Bob to share with the family that we're here and we're ready to do anything if they need any honey-do list things done at the home. They said they're okay right now. They've got family helping, but I want you to put him in your thoughts and prayers and you know, send a card or just reach out in whatever way is appropriate for you and your relationship with George. And I'll keep you posted if things come up that we can help with. We had a breakfast for dinner on Wednesday, and I zoomed in, and Charlie and Tom were on the other side of the Zoom, and they said, well, come over. So we did it together, and it was very yummy. It was very yummy. Charlie, excellent. And we're all vaccinated, or he's halfway, but Tom's getting there, right? You're going to get their other one. So that was fun. Thank you for doing that, Charlie. I don't know who did backpacks this week. Who were our star performers with backpacks? Oh, it wasn't. We didn't have it, right? Because there was no backpack. Okay. Well, that's good. That means our system works, and I just was clueless, which is part of the system working. And then the meals for seniors. Amanda, do you want to tell us what's, I thought I saw you. Yeah. Do you want to tell us what's happening and going on with that one?
I will tell you, I won't turn my video off because I'm fully celebrating staying pajamas and I'm still in bed. But the senior delivery went extremely well. They were super thankful for our helping out this whole year with delivery and being able to count on us. And we were down to one remaining senior who is now able to go pick up their meal themselves because they're fully vaccinated. So they are, I believe, Maggie, they're trying to get a address to send us a thank you card, and we are off the proverbial hook going forward.
Right. So we are done with that project until something comes up. And I do want to thank everyone who stepped up. These people who look surprisingly young. Anyway, they thank us too. So that was, yeah, they're starting to get people back moving to get their own meals and things like that. So wanted to remind you about this. I don't know, have we had teams sign up? I know Jeff was talking about putting a team together. Is anybody else putting a team together for this event? The reason I encourage you is you need to practice because of our event in August. So, and not only that, but if you like to play golf, you you know that you don't need an excuse, but this is a great excuse. So don't forget this event. Is anybody signed up for that? I don't see our golfers here today, so maybe not. So, and then just a reminder that we're having our tournament August 21st. It may be a little early for that committee, but I'm hoping that they're getting ready. Dustin, are you on that committee? Yeah, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, so we had our first meeting last week to kind of get things into full swing here. Haha. So and we're ready to go. Essentially, we're gonna kind of roll everything out middle of next month and start advertising kind of community wide for it. But we are gonna reach out to the people who so graciously played and got teams last year, and see if they want to do early registration. But we're gonna do the same format we did last year and make it super fun and accessible and keep it up. So anyway, look out for that. We'll give you updates as they come out, but that's what we got for now. So we are meeting though. So
Good deal.
If we play, are we covered by the club's insurance?
absolutely.
Okay.
Are you planning to hurt someone or get hurt?
You never know.
Yeah, you want to have all your ducks in a row. Yeah, because I used to think people who went golfing were good, and the first time I went on a golf course, a ball flew and hit the tree right behind me. I'm going, what the heck is going on here? I thought people knew what they were doing, and my friends just looked at me and laughed. Like they're kind of like, well, you're here, aren't you? And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, this is a dangerous place.
Many years ago at Baywood, Bob Johnson narrowly escaped serious injury from a slicing ball. It pays to stand behind your ball bag, your bag.
Good. Yeah, good tip. So, and especially if I'm playing near you. Actually, no, forget it. Especially if I'm playing near you. So practice, I guess I need to practice if I'm going to play. Charlie, is Charlie here? God, it's so hard to tell.
Which one?
The Murphy, I don't see her. Well, I want to tell you, but we're going to do it again when she comes, that we got a district grant to help youth with some internships. And we got money to help 7 youth with internships, 32-hour internships that we would hope in some cases could lead to a job, or at least give them some skills they could put on a resume when they're going to look for a job. And these are youth who have a lot of challenges in their lives. They may be homeless, they may have been homeless, but they're foster youth primarily. And Charlie found, thanks to all of you who volunteered internship locations, we were able to place the 7 students. Even though we got a late start youth, we were able to place all of them due to Charlie's work. And, we did, the committee, we put the grant together, we brainstormed locations and offered locations for internships, and Tomas stepped forward and said, hey, I'll pay, I'll do the payroll and I won't charge for it, and to make it easy. But Charlie has been doing the work of grabbing these folks and convincing them and encouraging them and getting them in a position where they can do this, and coaching them and talking them through their bullshit, excuse my French, but and it's amazing. And I just want to give a shout out to her. She's not here, but I wanted you guys to hear, because she would not toot her own horn, but I want you to know how much she has done to make this happen. And so when you see her, thank her, because it's a really big deal for these kids to have this opportunity. And I want to thank all of you, any of you who who have offered those positions. A number of you have. I want to thank you for taking the chance. I know it's an iffy proposition and it's challenging. These kids really don't have a lot of skills, but they have promise. They have a right to have a chance. And I just appreciate all of you who have given them that chance. So bravo for Charlie, give her a shout out, and we'll recognize her again when we see her, but I didn't want to not share that with you today. If I were Barbara right now, I'd be crying. Barbara, are you crying? I mean, you don't have to tell us, but I'm just saying, I'm almost there, so. So I have a message from Holger. He wasn't able to join us last time. Let me see if I can figure out how to make him come to us right now. Through the modern technology kind of stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Gremlins got into my computer overnight, so I have to start over, figure out what things are doing. Oops. And if it doesn't work, it won't work, and we know it doesn't work. Talk among yourselves. Anyone have something they want to share with us while I'm doing this?
Yeah, I got this back. This little beauty is a Martin D1 that had a neck break in it, and I thought it was a death break. So it had been sitting in my closet for at least 4 years. I did some spring cleaning and thought, why not just take it to Wildwood and see? I thought it was dead though, and they had a guy. They called the guy, and a couple months later, I got the call back, and he said, you know, it's just a truss rod and a couple, glues here. I shaved down the action on it. It plays like butter, and so that was pretty flipping amazing. So it's been a while, but this was my baby for a long time, and it's in back now. So thank you, Wildwood, and the dude Michael with the Louisiana accent who fixed it, and yeah.
So no more punk acoustical guitar smash concert.
God, no,
Yeah.
those days are over, Greg. Those days are over.
Yeah, they're good. It's good.
I got to go the.
Let's
folk
hear
route,
something. Play.
Oh no, not quite yet. Look, the coffee hasn't set in quite yet.
Oh, look.
Next meeting.
Yeah, we can definitely have you. Okay, do you see what I see?
I don't know. I can't see what you see.
Do you see Holger Knock?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
You're a smarty pants, Mr. Greg.
It's
Hi, guy.
Boy, that's breaking news.
So
Maggie, we don't hear anything.
Am I supposed to just see a man's blinking? Oh no, no sound.
You need to turn the, just click a little box to add the volume, or yeah, add the audio. Stop sharing, and then when you share, there's a little button that you click.
Experience.
Do you see the fellow?
I see nothing.
Okay, then this is not, I don't like doing this to you guys, so sorry about that. I know some of you thought I was perfect. And now I've dissuaded you of that belief, so I feel better. Okay. We're just, we just can't always hear from people we want to hear from. that's just how it goes. But what was going to happen is they were going to tell us about the Rotary efforts around COVID vaccinations and stuff. So I can send the link to you. It's just a 3-minute video, you know, the Rotary type of deal. But it's really talking about the importance of our being involved in any way we can to either help at clinics or give people information who are hesitant or wary, and just kind of really encourage the rollout of this to make sure people get vaccinated. So, and they were talking about how the polio systems that we have in place in some countries are really stepping up to help with this. We don't have that system here in this country, so they've had to just use old-fashioned and try to get it figured out. But the system they've put together in other countries has really made a difference to help them there. We do need some more volunteers on these 2 days, not too many, but if any of you can do a slot, I did send out the Sign Up Genius dig around for it, or if you're interested, just let me know and I can tell you when we have slots available. Dustin, tell us what's happening tonight.
Yes, so tonight is our virtual district training assembly, and it should be really fun. We have a few speakers tonight and tomorrow. Tonight, John Blount, he's a past Rotary International Director and a past governor from our district, is going to be talking about how to create powerful events, along with a couple other slideshows and an introduction of the incoming president-elects. And then tomorrow is going to be our training. And we've kind of revamped the way we're doing training in the district and at the zone and international level. So that's going to be really exciting. And our district trainer, Michael Urick's going to roll that out tomorrow. And we have a lot of speakers and presenters tomorrow as well. Vicky Poulis is going to be there. She's our incoming international director. And then in the afternoon, there's a series of breakout sessions. They're all simultaneous, so you can pick one, but there's 5 of them. And then we're hoping that everyone was going to pre-register so we'd know how many people we had there. Right now, registration is right around 250 people, which is a good showing. So you can register late if you want to. We just wanted to make sure we didn't nudge up above that 500 mark where our Zoom subscription is obsolete. So anyway, at this point, it looks like we can do late registration if you want to bop in and join. And the links for all that, if you don't have them, if you didn't register, will be on our district website. So you can jump in and take part if you have nothing else to do. But we have it's going to be really fun, and we've worked hard to put this together to make it collaborative and do the breakout sessions and get some nice speakers there to inspire y'all for the year ahead. So Ian, I hope I'm going to see you there and the Sunrise team. Right on. And yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
How many people are planning to attend all or part of this? Just show of hands. Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. We always have a good showing, and no pandemic's going to keep us away from that.
Or 5 a.m. wake up time at King Salmon and the caravan down, which I do kind of miss. But as long we get to sit in our living rooms on this one, so that's fine too.
Yeah, it's really easy this year. So so thank you. Reminder, if anyone is interested in learning about this, I can send you the link.
Go Slugs.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, go Slugs.
Oh yeah.
My son Will is about ready to graduate from there.
Yeah, yeah, I'm a slug. Yeah. Reminder too, the Cindy talked to us about the North Coast Ethics and Business Awards. I don't know the deadline, but it's getting closer. So if you'd like to nominate a business locally, let's get that done. Let's get some local businesses in the mix, so it's not all Southern District. This is a blank slide because I know you were tired of just looking at things, so a blank moment there. It can be anything you want it to be. And we have, I'm going to put that one off. Next week, I think we're going to have a little report from our tech team to maybe share with us what we're looking at Plaza Grill and plans for meetings, but I want to put that off till next week. I want to remind you all that board meeting is April 20th, next Tuesday. I'll send out the link to everybody and you're welcome to join us. So please come. The best way to know what the board is doing is to go to a board meeting and then and tell us what we're doing, because sometimes, no, we know what we're doing and we want you to come and join us. So that's happening. Any last minute announcements that anyone wants to throw at us here? Yes.
Super quick.
Mr. Firster Foster.
Oh, okay. Just real quick, we'll be announcing publicly that the Denver service will be restarting on June 3rd. That's United.
Great. Awesome.
So we can keep it.
Yay. Brandy, yes.
I wear the hat at AEDC, and I also am technical assistance for the California Relief Grant. And I just wanted to give a shout out to all those businesses who might have wanted to apply and have not yet. You have one more opportunity. And I'm going to be doing a webinar next week on how to get familiar with the application and the documents needed and everything. And that opens up May 28th, but our webinar is going to be the 21st. And I'll send something to be distributed to the club via email.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Oops. So I wanted to do a little trivia because I think it's important. And does anybody know the history of Monopoly?
I don't know who created the original game, but I know they're still playing it, trying to finish.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it was called the Landlord's Game, and it was created by a woman named Maggie, or Maggie, I don't know her last name, M-A-G-I-E, I don't know how she pronounced it. And it was originally designed to convince people that it's much better to come together for wealth creation as a cooperative kind of venture than to let people have monopolies and just control everything. But some guy took it over and started selling it, and then Parker Brothers got involved, and she ended up making $500 off her patent, whereas this Darrow guy made millions. So, and I was thinking about that, and then I found this cute little video, and I realized afterwards that these guys are playing Monopoly, so this is really fitting.
You're my sunshine, you're my best times, you're my anomaly, and I'd choose you in 100 lifetimes. I'd choose you. In 100 worlds, I'd find you. And I'd say I do.
So I just thought that was funny. So just, I guess I just connected and thought this little girl is getting payback for the woman who only got $500 for her patent. But be careful when somebody offers you water, just, if a child does it. But anyway. So let's jump into our raffle here, folks.
All right, good morning, everybody. Let's see who is going to win today. And that's Romy. She gets the first draw. Barely missed Ian. You win $5, and we'll skip the dollar on the table. And our next winner is Brandy.
Okay.
And and you win $5 as well, I'll pay you through Venmo, both of you. Thank you guys for playing.
Thank you, Nick. What's the pot up to now?
It's up to $40 now because
All
we
right.
just had like Lisa or something won the other day.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So it's building back up again. All right, thank you. So I am going to turn the program over now to Greg Foster to introduce our guest. Greg.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Maggie. Yeah, it's a real pleasure to have David Loya here this morning, a colleague and someone who really stepped up at the beginning of the pandemic and helped us create a emergency loan program for local businesses, and all around good guy. And he's going to talk this morning about housing. And so David is the Arcata Community Development Director, and he has a diverse background in biology, housing, economic development policy, implementation, urban planning, including current and future planning, but past planning he doesn't do, and climate adaptation planning. He oversees the long-range planning updates for the local coastal plan, the general plan, and the targeted rezoning to meet the city's share of our regional housing goals. His approach to future planning emphasizes integrating science, economic policy, racial equity, and community collaboration to develop actionable and equitable policy. And I am told from David directly that he is currently wearing bunny slippers. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe we'll put him to the test at the end of the presentation, but I'll turn it over to David. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning, everyone. I guess I'll just start by telling you something you already know, that obviously the Sunrise Rotarians are the best Rotarians. You guys know how to get it done, right? It's like, get up in the morning, do this thing, got it, and then on with the rest of the day. So can certainly appreciate that. And I wanted to thank you for inviting me. I think it's been at least a year since I spoke to you last. It's probably been more like about 3. And I think the last time that I came and spoke to you all, I was talking about this concept. And the concept was, this bold new plan for housing in Arcata. And, I had a lot of skeptics back then. And I'm glad to report that now we're sort of in the thick of it. I'll talk to you a little bit about what we've done since I spoke to you last in terms of housing, talk to you about a couple of projects, but a lot about the planning work that we're doing and looking into the future. And I didn't list on my bio that Greg read that I do past planning, but I do look to the past to try and inform our future planning quite a bit. And so that is definitely something, past planner is in my resume as well. I want to share with you, and I'm hoping that I can pull off the sound on this video too, because I want to share with you some of the resources that we've been doing at the City of Arcata. So I'm going to hopefully share my screen here, and this will kind of organize some of the discussion. I'll show you the webpage we're using to communicate to the public the work that we're doing, and also sort of collect the information that that we're collecting, so we can reflect that back to the public, tell them where our events are, share the work product that we're creating, and generally use this website as a launching platform for this project. So what are we doing with housing? Well, many of you know we've done a lot of housing production. The Plaza Point is a good example of 32-unit senior affordable housing project. We've done projects like that all throughout town, and we're really active in bringing grant dollars from outside the state to our community to help create affordable housing. We've also continued to streamline over the past 10 years that I've been working with the city, our planning process and our building process to make Arcata a good place for builders. I'm sure you can, still find someone who can gripe about our process. I'm not saying it's perfect, but many people that I talk to do feel like we've really improved and that we're one of the best jurisdictions to work with in the county. So I'm proud about that. When it comes to development, sometimes there's an us versus them mentality. that develops between a jurisdiction and developers. And I think that the city of Arcata has really embraced the concept that development is not a bad thing. We need it. We all need houses to live in. We need businesses to shop at. We need places to do, to go and work. And so we've embraced the mentality that we're really partners with our developers and tried to, change attitudes and perspectives in the culture at the city of Arcata so that we're actually working in partnership. One of the big lessons that's been learned, at least by my department over the last couple of years, with some of the major projects that we've tried to bring to the community, is that community members are really wanting to have a lot more participation, a lot more say, a lot more ability to help guide the way that the community is going to look than they can get on a project by project review. When someone comes in for a large scale project, we ask them to fill out an application. They spend about a year developing their environmental documents and their application. We bring it to a hearing. We give people 10 days notice. They have to quick, get up to speed on what the project is. And we tell them, hey, look, this comports with all of our codes. And so we're going to recommend approval. And they're literally freaking out because they've never seen it before. Whereas we've been working with it for the past year. And so we're trying to change the way that we to do that kind of planning. And the concept is that, let's get broad community input at the beginning, create a set of plans that provides some assurance for the developers and for the community that we know what we're looking at. We know what projects are going to be brought forward. We know what they're going to look like. We know how they're going to impact the human environment. And we've done that all together. Now, certainly there are going to be people down the road that didn't participate. But this provides for a lot more assurance in the process. From a developer's perspective, when they come forward with a project, they're looking at, how long is it going to take me? How much money is it going to cost me? And, what is the uncertainty involved in the process? What kind of things are going to come up in the process? And so from the developer's perspective, what this work will do is eliminate the time and uncertainty elements to that. From the community's perspective, they're also going to get some uncertainty eliminated and have a lot more assurance as to what's going on. So all of this is couched in what we're calling the Strategic Infill Redevelopment Program. Big, long string of fancy words that essentially means, how do we take some of the areas that, have legacy uses, for example, the K Street corridor around the Creamery District, which was historically used for, logging. The old barrel factory was out there, a lot of mills, a lot of industrial uses, squashed right in between two residential areas in the downtown. How do we take these, legacy properties and transition them into the future so that they provide new economic opportunities and housing opportunities for the city of Arcata? So that's where the redevelopment component comes from. The infill program, or the infill component, comes from this concept that the city of Arcata doesn't want to expand its boundaries. The easiest way to create a program for development is to develop somewhere where people aren't. You've probably all heard of NIMBYs, not in my backyard. Folks that don't want to have some new thing happen in the vacant parcel next door to theirs, the parcel that they feel like they've enjoyed the vacantness of for the last 10 years is suddenly having a project go up in it, and they feel like they have a right to, to say no, it shouldn't. But when you're developing away from people, that makes it easy. Well, that would mean developing into the bottoms, or it would mean developing, into the hill slopes. And so the city of Arcata wants to stay within its boundaries. So that's where the infill part comes in. And the strategic is really what I talked about previously, bringing people together, making sure that we have a plan that is, vetted by the community, that is, vetted by the industry. It's the type of housing that they want to build, and that is something that the financial institutions will back. So we're trying to align all the different sectors that it takes to create development. So those are the primary concepts behind this strategic infill redevelopment program. We're driving the engagement into areas where we haven't driven before. Traditionally, our engagement involves maybe holding a town hall at the community center, but then largely having meetings at the city council, the planning commission. We've been, I guess, one of the silver linings to the pandemic is that we've been using Zoom to reach people that we haven't been able to reach before. And we've been creating a lot of electronic media that, are helping us to get the message out there, creating enduring engagement so that when we have an engagement, we can record it, we can create surveys, and then people can continue to participate in it even after the fact. So I want to play you this little clip a colleague of mine, Dilo, put together along with Juan, our videographer, that helps explain to the community what we're doing. And I may need to mute myself as my dog is getting ready to bark here. Let's see. Tell me if you can hear this. Greg, can you shake your head? You can hear it? Nope. Okay. Well, Maggie and I have something in common now. Okay, I'm not trying to get the. I'm not going to spend my time. I'm going to drop this link into the chat, and then. Oopsies. Drop this link into the chat, and you can watch it later. Okay, so this is our landing page for this. I'll also drop this into the chat. But the first component of this is a major update to the general plan. You can find out information on our website about those changes to the general plan that we're proposing to make. But we're right now right in the middle of the engagement for that. And we've just hired on Plan West Partners and a team to help us do the technical edits to the general plan. These are necessary because our existing general plan, even though it's a great document that I think still reflects a lot of the values of the city of Arcata, is now 20 years old. Not that being 20 years old is bad, but that it does reflect being, that it's lapsed its planning period. So generally speaking, a general plan is designed for a 20-year planning period. And so now we're getting into, the next 20-year planning period. Generally, we, like to try and get as many participants as possible. So one of the things I'm going to ask for you all to do is to get engaged and participate with us. And the way that you can do that is by, either emailing us and we'll get you on the list, signing up e-notifications on our website, or tracking at the bottom of this page. We have our upcoming events, and then, as I'd mentioned before, our past events recorded, so that you can go back and catch what the community's been saying to date. We're starting to compile documents like the community vision statement. This is sort of the core foundational part of our general plan. The general plan is the policy document that all of the other plans and codes flow from. And so we'd like to invite you to participate. Well, one of the core tenets that I've talked about related to this is our Arcata Gateway area plan. This is going to be a pilot project for the types of zoning that we'll do throughout the city elsewhere, and really transitioning the way that the zoning is done. Instead of focusing on what uses are allowable inside of buildings, we'll be focusing on what amenities do the buildings need to present. What is the streetscape going to look like? Are there going to be areas for parklets? Are there going to be combined parking for alternative transportation, so on and so forth? And so really driving the design through this targeted rezone. And instead of, for example, adopting maximum densities, allowing the market to drive what is the maximum density here, and instead setting what the footprints are going to look like. And so instead of telling you have to have a total of 30 units maximum, we might tell you have to have a total of 20 units minimum. and let you decide how to, compile those. If you want to have 70 units and they're all, one bedroom, because you think that's what the market is driving towards, knock yourself out. And so in this way, it allows the, the market to have a little bit more of a say in, how those units are provided to the city. Allows a little bit more flexibility in the types of uses that are allowed there as well. So let me see if can you still see the gateway plan? I want to show you the area that we're talking about here. And so here's 255, there's Samoa. And here's this K Street. So this whole purple area, this is all industrial. For the most part, these boundaries aren't fixed in stone yet. We're going to be having some community outreach to make sure that we stream or hone the boundaries based on what makes the most sense to the community. But this is the target area. We'll be looking to put approximately, we estimate 6,000 new housing units over the next 20-30 years can be built in this area. And so we're looking to develop the flexibility to do that. So that's almost double. There's about 8,000 units in the city of Arcata right now. That's almost double the number of units that there are in the city in this one small area of the city. And so you can imagine that's a pretty drastic change for folks. But the reality is that the current zoning, would allow for that type of development already. And so it may not be as drastic as some might think. And so we'll be walking through that process and what is that going to look like and what amenities do these developments need to bring to the city, as they come forward. So, really excited right now. Like I said, we've got our consultant on board. We're going to be having a lot more engagement over the next, year or so to try and develop the draft plans. And then the following year, we'll be bringing forward the final plans. I'd really appreciate your involvement, and I'd love to come back and share with you as we, get closer to having more work product. But I'd like to invite you to explore the work product we've already created. I'll drop some of those links into the chat box now and be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Great, thank you. I'm sure there's lots of questions. I see Randy. Randy, we'll start with you.
Sorry, my space bar didn't work. Unmute me. Good morning, David.
Morning.
Just have a question about the Humboldt State's plan for the Polytechnic. Is there any work on that or any planning going on that with the new general plan? It seems like that could drastically change the general plan if HSU does become Cal Poly.
Yeah, we have been, obviously they're at the very beginning stages of developing the Polytech. And we haven't gotten, into that level of detail yet with discussing what, changes they might see as necessary for our policy documents. But certainly, we have a good working relationship with HSU, and we'll continue to work to facilitate their plans as well. HSU has recently purchased the Craftsman's Mall, and they also own the old Industrial Electric building out on Samoa. And I know that those two properties will likely be involved in that Polytech ultimately. And certainly the Industrial Electric, they've got some plans for it. But yeah, always looking to work with HSU and the community.
Any other questions? Excuse me. Folks have questions about housing? Yes,
So
Greg.
I put in the chat a link to an article, but there has been a number of articles talking about urban densification and land use planning. And the city of Berkeley recently got rid of its single family zoning and was able to put in now fourplexes on single family lots. And I know there's a lot of opposition to that, but it really is, the studies show, the best way that local governments can address the climate change issues by creating density. And so it really is an environmental approach to this. It's also an equity approach. NIMBYism really is about protecting one's own interests and not letting anyone else share in the equitable fruits of the ability to live in cities or in towns or even have housing. And that's a critical issue that we're dealing with right now in all of Humboldt County. So David and the city here is taking a real lead on this, and I'm working with the city of Eureka on looking at projects and densification. But Craftsman's Mall is a real cautionary tale, right? That was opposed, and I'll be a little controversial. It was opposed and funded by some other developers, and now the HSU has bought that property and has effectively removed the local jurisdiction from the planning process for that, because now the state has control. So let's be careful about about what we do around some of these projects and how we approach them. End of editorial statement.
Actually, I'm going to take that as a question and add to it that, I recognize that, a lot of folks would look at the kind of planning we're doing right now and say, hey, look, that's really out of character with, our community. Again, looking backwards and saying, what does our community look like? And, we do tend to forget, all of those industrial uses that occurred in that area. This is a really great opportunity for the city to take full control of its development potential and its development requirements. This isn't something that I'm driving because I stand to benefit or because I like to see big buildings or because I like to create controversy. This is the state telling us you're going to create these units or you're going to lose control of your planning process. The state actually has laws that will require, if we don't meet our housing needs allocation, the number of housing units that we're required to produce over a planning period. It requires it gives the developers the control over what those developments are going to look like. And so really this is an attempt on by my department to bring the community together and do some proactive planning to address what the state is going to ultimately force us to do if we don't take advantage of the opportunity to plan for it.
Thank you. That's a good point. And I think it's also important to look at all income levels. We talk a lot about very low income or low income housing, but the moderate housing options, people who are trying to buy their first home are really being squeezed out of our current market, which is not Arcata's fault. It's, it's everything happening. And people who have homes who would like to sell them and downsize into something smaller as they age don't have those options. So they're kind of sitting tight, holding on to houses and that need to be turned over to families. And so having options that people can move out of these homes into helps with the housing stock too. So when you're building and looking at those design things, we need accessibility and affordability, not just very low income, but affordability for people. So we need it all. We need it all. I could take one last question, and if there is one, and if not, you all know where to find David, kind of remotely, email wise. Any other questions for him today? All right. I want to thank you so much. And in your name, in appreciation, we will be making a donation to Tri-County Independent Living. They are a local organization that helps support people with disabilities and advocates for full inclusion in communities. And so we're kind of related to what we're talking about a little bit. And we really appreciate your time and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Next week, folks, is Earth Day. Although every week should be Earth Day, but there's celebrations afloat. I believe Arcata Noon is doing a highway cleanup next Saturday. So if that's something you want to get in on, contact their president, Dan Link, and he can give you the all the information on that. And meanwhile, we will see you. Whoa, it's alive. We will see you next time I see you. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. And if you can stay in your jammies all day, more power to you. Thanks, everyone.